What's up? It's me, Haley Jones, and today I'm here with Kirby Deal, who is the Executive Director of the Women's Fund of East Tennessee. I'm so excited to talk to you today.
Yeah.
I'm so excited I've been scouring the Women's Fund of East Tennessee website. Well, no, I'm excited.
Yeah, me
This
too.
is
I'm really excited to chat
so
with you.
Fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna read your bio.
Okay.
Tell me what needs to be added.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah, I will. Go for it.
Okay, so Kirby Deal serves as the Executive Director for the Women's Fund of East Tennessee. Kirby originally began her nonprofit work with a local nonprofit organization as the program facilitator, where she educated young girls to be strong, smart, and bold, aka Girls Inc., which, by the way, I did an internship with Girls Inc.
Did
in
you
college.
really? Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and I was Volunteer of the Year.
Oh, nice. That's a big
Just
deal.
saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're big Girls Inc. fans.
Yeah,
to this
I
day.
love
yeah,
Girls
It's
Inc.
a great organization.
Yes. Anyways, let's see. During her tenure at Girls Inc. Okay, sorry. She grew to Director of Development of Girls Inc. of Tennessee Valley and eventually Executive Director.
Yeah.
During her tenure with Girls Inc., Kirby worked to diversify fundraising and create new revenue streams by creating valuable community partnerships and relationships and help grow the organization. This is so cool. From a smaller local nonprofit serving 2 counties to a regional organization that serves over 1,300 girls in East Tennessee.
Yeah. And they're still doing it too. You know,
Yeah.
I've been gone I left that organization in 2022 and they're still growing and continuing the work. And so it's really cool that I was able to have like this, small bit of success with them personally and professionally and continue to see that growth.
Yeah, and get
it's
their
really
momentum.
Yes,
going.
absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kirby has served as the Executive Director of the Women's Fund Women's Fund of East Tennessee since June 2022 and is passionate about the work to break down barriers for low-income women and girls. She is dedicated to helping the organization reach its goal of a $6 million endowment.
Yes, yeah.
In order to increase grant funding and programming for nonprofit organizations that focus on direct service. Bachelor's degree from Tennessee Wesleyan University.
All the regulars.
I know. Are you from Tennessee?
I am, yeah. So I grew up in Cleveland, Tennessee, which is
know that.
Yeah, about an hour and a half, maybe south of here in Knoxville, and then went to Tennessee Wesleyan in Athens, and then lived in Greenville, Tennessee for a little bit. So I've kind of lived like all across the East Tennessee line.
She
but
knows
settled
the
here in
parts.
Knoxville. Yeah. I know like 4 cities really well. Yeah.
That's a lot more than that's good. Okay. So let's do just some little rapid fire. Get to know Kirby a little better. Okay, so the first one we already asked. Where are you from? We already got that.
Yep.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee for sure.
Do you like it black? Like, are we talking about
I
latte?
do. I like it black. Yeah. I'm trying to cut down my caffeine intake, so I'm drinking a lot of like decaf Americanos right now. But I just love like a good cup of like black coffee. It's my favorite.
I do too.
Yeah.
I like a black coffee with a shot of espresso.
Yeah. Sometimes you need it. Like it's needed. Yeah.
Okay. Now you have dabbled in The Bachelor and The Bachelorette franchise.
I have.
If you had to choose one of them as your favorite, Bachelor versus Bachelorette, like what are we choosing?
I think I'm choosing The Bachelorette because I think that people have I think they have this like preconceived notion that the women are like so dramatic and all these things, and they are, but the men are so petty and dramatic too. And so I really like to see how all these men like interact with each other. Yes. And I find it really fun. I used to be a religious watcher, and I've not done it in a while, like sat down and watched the whole season. And I know one's on right now, The Bachelorette, and I think maybe starting with the next one, I'm going to pick it back up like fully.
Well, we're about to have a Golden Bachelorette.
Yeah, we're about to have a Golden Bachelorette. I don't know anything about her. I did not watch the Golden Bachelor.
I did not. Well, I watched the first one, and I was like, I don't know if I can get into it.
Yeah, I haven't tried. Maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll try with the Golden Bachelorette. That'll be like my.
Well, then I was wondering how those men are going to be.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
But they're like
they've got like experience.
Yeah, they're old and they're like
60s.
I don't know if I can say this, but they're kind of like hot older guys too.
Yeah,
I saw a thing.
I did too.
Yeah.
On TikTok?
Like yes, and I was like, okay.
I was like, oh,
these men look like they know what they're doing in terms of like just life. So maybe
TBD.
Maybe we're gonna be Golden Bachelorette fans.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Wait, do you do Love Island or any of that stuff? Or no?
I've not watched Love Island. I like the Netflix shows, like Too Hot to Handle. I'm obsessed
I've not
with.
watched that one.
Oh, you have to watch Too Hot to Handle.
Really?
Yeah, do you know what it's about? Like,
No.
at all? So it's about these people who are promiscuous, we'll say.
Yeah.
They like to have an active social life.
Yeah.
And they bring them onto this island. They're all obviously drop dead gorgeous. And they bring them to this island and they tell you, like, okay, you can't have any physical, like, interaction with anyone. Like, you're here to build, like, meaningful relationships.
What?
It's crazy. It's wild.
Okay.
But I love it. And I love Love is Blind.
Okay, I did yesterday start
Yeah.
Love is Blind UK.
I haven't watched that one yet. But it's on my
So,
list.
because I was like, I'm out of stuff.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
let's try this thing.
We'll try it.
Okay, favorite season of the year?
Fall, definitely.
Just like, you love a pumpkin spice?
I love a pumpkin spice.
Like,
I just like the atmosphere. Like, everything feels... Summer's hard for me. I don't like to be hot, and I get very overheated in the summer. And so fall just feels refreshing to me. And I love a little, like, crisp, like, morning breeze.
I do too.
The trees. I mean, the fall colors, like...
Yeah, everything's beautiful.
You can't
here.
beat it. Yeah.
I agree.
So definitely fall.
Now she's very active. She's an athlete in her own right, okay?
Oh, that's kind.
You are. Okay. Box jumps or burpees?
Ooh, box jumps for sure.
Same.
Yeah.
Ugh, I hate a burpee.
I can't imagine ever choosing a burpee over anything. Like, I can't imagine what you would present that I would ever choose a burpee.
Yeah, no. I've even like basically jacked my shin up pretty bad on a box jump, and I would choose a box jump over a
Oh,
burpee.
for sure. Yeah, I've definitely fallen on a box before, like a wooden box, but I'd still choose it.
Yeah, same. Also same. Okay, dogs or cats? I think we know the answer.
Cats.
Look what's on our desk.
Yeah, I'm a cat mom. Two cute little kitties. Yeah. My cats are I feel like cats are having a moment right now, and I'm here for it. Like, I
love it.
Cats. I love
It's
dogs,
time.
but
Yeah.
cats are what I need
Your
in my
thing.
life daily. Yeah.
I'm afraid of cats. Like, I don't know how to interact
I feel like
with
a
them.
lot of people are. You
Yeah.
just let them be, and they'll come to you.
Now, I
That's
have
my
a friend who has
philosophy.
like a cat that's cuddly, and it just is like a
Yeah.
rag doll. I want that.
Yeah, it's hard to find. Like, I'm very lucky. We have two cats, my partner and I. And one is very cuddly to both of us, and then my cat that I brought to the relationship, he's more standoffish, so he's like cuddly when I'm by myself. So I
Okay.
kind of get like the best of both worlds.
He's like, you're a hoe.
yeah, literally. He's like, he doesn't like many people except me. I love it.
Okay, favorite meal to eat in Knoxville?
In Knoxville, oh, that's so tough because we have such good food.
I know.
Like, such good food.
Or you can say top three. Well, if we need to expand it, we can, but.
Can I just give like restaurants?
Yeah.
Okay, so number one is definitely JC Holdway. Like, that's like a special
like
treat for
downtown.
us. Yeah, downtown. We at the Women's Fund, one of our former board members, her now husband is the head chef and owner, and he's incredible, like just incredible human, but also like food is so good to die for. Like an amazing steak, just so good. Yeah, so JC Holdway, if we're looking for something like nice, like a celebration,
right,
that's where we're gonna go. I also love, gosh, this is hard, but I love Mexican food. So Country Burrito, actually, over on,
where's that?
It's right off of, if you're on Pellissippi and you take the Hardin Valley exit,
Yes.
it's right there. It's attached to a gas station.
Okay,
It
I
sounds
have friends that have said this.
Country Burrito, it hands down, it's like the best place. Like,
Okay.
if I'm gonna have Mexican food, like,
You're
I'm gonna
going
go to
there.
Country Burrito. And they're building a new one over off of North Shore. I don't know much about that. I just know there's gonna be one, but the one on Hardin Valley, that's it. It's so good.
We're talking about doing a taco tour, like around.
You should.
And so I'm like, we should.
Yeah, you
add
should go
that.
there. You should go there.
Yeah.
They have good margaritas too. Like, they're a good place.
Woo!
So actually, I'll just do a top two. So that kind of covered both
Okay.
ends. So we've
Yeah,
got
nice,
JC Holdway,
yeah.
nice celebratory,
Yeah.
and then Country Burrito, like your everyday need like a taco fix. That's
Need to
where
pick
you're
me
gonna go.
up.
Need to pick me up. That's where
In
you're
case
gonna go.
Helen tequila pick
Yeah,
me up.
exactly. Yes. Sometimes you need it.
I know, right? Okay, so we're gonna take a hard turn
Okay.
into talking about Women's Fund of East
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us, like, give us the 10,000-foot view of like what is
Sure.
Women's Fund of
Like
East
the
Tennessee?
spiel. Yes. So the Women's Fund of East Tennessee, We are a 501c3 nonprofit located here in Knoxville, Tennessee. We're actually a supporting organization of the East Tennessee Foundation, which is our local community foundation here in Knoxville. But we serve 25 counties across East Tennessee, primarily functioning as a grant-making organization.
Yeah.
So we raise money to give away to nonprofits within those 25 counties that focus on supporting women and girls. So we have a few key areas that we grant funds to. Our biggest area is what we call our Strong Women, Strong Futures Network. And that's really granting funds to 10 nonprofit organizations that have a program that focus on post-secondary education access and readiness for women and girls within our community. So that's kind of our biggest area of funding. Our mission is to be used as a catalyst to transform the lives of women and girls. And we think that one of the biggest and easiest ways to do that, or to start with that transformation, is through access to post-secondary education.
Yeah.
So we have 10 program partners, 10 nonprofits across the 25 counties that we serve that are actively working in this post-secondary education space. And then we're also opening up later this year an area of funding called self-sustainability grants, which will be open to any nonprofit in the region that we serve, focused on just supporting women and girls. So that looks very different for many organizations. Some are focused on, K through 12 education. Some are focused on, reintroduction to society after, maybe a criminal past or a record, or helping women who are experiencing homelessness. So we want to be able to provide grants to all of those different nonprofits.
So who is a good donor fit for what you guys do? Like, if somebody's like, we want to contribute to Women's Fund of East Tennessee, like, what makes them a fit for what you're doing?
Well, really anyone with a passion for serving women and girls. You know, a lot of times we don't necessarily think about how women and girls experience differences within this community. But, there's a large pay gap. There's, women who are unable to provide basic necessities for themselves and their families, yet they're the breadwinner, or they're, running single female-led households and that sort of thing. And so really just anyone who recognizes and understands that there are disparities against women within all of our communities, and they want to help with that. So you mentioned our endowment. That's really our primary source of grant funding. So we raise money for our endowment every year. Our 15th year in existence will be 2026. And so we're hoping to raise $2 million in the next 2 years to get us up to that $6 million goal.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, so essentially you guys are kind of the gateway between somebody that wants to support these women's initiatives and then the nonprofits themselves that are executing that goal.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So then, talk to us a little bit about post-secondary. And I think I was looking at your website. Talk to us about that, about post-secondary.
Sure. Yeah. So post-secondary education is something that I think the narrative changes a lot as we kind of go through the years. At least when I was growing up, probably when you were growing up too, it was very much like, you're going to go to college and get a 4-year degree. Yeah. That was, as someone who grew up in a house where my mother did not have that option, it was an unspoken rule, if you will, that like, you're going to go to college and you're going to go to a 4-year university, and that's your only option. And so we're seeing now how obviously that's a great option for a lot of people, but there are other things too. There's a 2-year degree, there's associate's degrees, there's junior college, there's technical trade schools. And we found as an organization that young women are not often pointed in those directions as well, despite the fact that it might be a good fit for them. It might be something they're passionate about. It might be something that could help them, start a family sooner, or however they want to go about that. And so we just want to make sure that every young woman has education and post-secondary education specifically, no matter what that looks like, so that they're better informed to make decisions for themselves and their families. Yeah.
And something that you'll see, like on their website, just as an example, if like the state of education report this year for Tennessee was like, this is very dorky.
No, I like that. I love data.
But like, so it was talking about how like the Tennessee Promise is like, people are using it, but they're not getting to the finish line. And that was something that I thought was cool on your website. It's like, support is needed. It's not just like, oh yeah, you've got Tennessee Promise, good luck.
Exactly.
It's not that simple.
Yeah, it's really interesting. We have, so with our Strong Women, Strong Futures Grant Network, we have quarterly convenings where we bring all of the nonprofits together and do information sessions. We actually just had our first one this year about a month ago, and we had some speakers come in and talk about some great information, but we found out that out of 100 students who started high school in 2012, 10 years later, by the end of 2022, only 26 had gotten a 4-year degree.
What?
Yeah, so they're starting. So, you're starting
Right.
high school, you complete high school.
Right.
And then it dwindled, say 80, and my numbers might be off on this, but let's say 86% then start school.
Yeah.
Well, then 2 more years, you're at, 40% who are still enrolled.
Right.
And then of that 40, only 26% actually graduate from a 4-year institution within that 10-year period.
Isn't that crazy?
So yeah, it's really crazy just because
Yeah.
I growing up in a smaller town, and like I said, with my family, it was just, it's going to happen. Like
Right.
we're going to go.
Right.
And then it's crazy to think about the circumstances and the hardships that people face that put them in a space where maybe they can't graduate or
Yeah.
they can't, continue with their education. And so we really want to make sure that, yes, while there's so many access to resources with Tennessee Promise and great organizations, that we're supporting people through their entire journey
Right.
through post-secondary education.
Yeah. So when it comes to like things East Tennessee is doing, what is East, and I'm going to ask you the flip side of this.
Yeah,
too, but what
sure.
is East Tennessee doing well when it comes to supporting women and girls? Whether it's policy, organizations like yourself, like what do you think are some promising things that Tennessee is doing?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of access to information now. I think there was a time, and we kind of found this with an event that we put on for the past couple of years called the Women's Policy Forum, where we actually took a statewide women's conference that they put on in Chattanooga. We kind of replicated it for an audience here in Knoxville, and it basically just talked about what the issues that are facing women and girls are. We all know kind of the big ones: access to childcare, access to housing, things like that. But it talked about it in a sense of, here's the actual data and here's what's missing. Here are how many people are affected by this, and here are the different here are different policies or nonprofits or resources that can help change that. So I think we're in a place now where we have a lot more access to information, which I think is really great. And I also think our nonprofits are really working together. That's a big part of our network is collaboration.
Right.
Oftentimes nonprofits are in these silos of doing all of this incredible work, but they're by themselves. And so by putting everyone together in the same room, we're able to have that networking, that collaboration to work together to make bigger strides.
Yeah. So access to information looking good, collaboration among, nonprofits.
Yeah.
Where would you say are just like big gaps, or you're like, why haven't we figured this out yet? Or like, we gotta address this kind of thing?
Gosh, that's a great question, because I don't know what the answers are. I think the biggest thing that we have to get a handle on is childcare, because it disproportionately affects women. Not that men don't experience this in some sort of way, but studies show that if a spouse, if a parent is going to quit a job to take care of their kids, most of the time it's going to be the woman. It's going to be the mother. That takes women out of the workforce. That sets women back. That keeps them from achieving maybe personal goals, professional goals, things like that. And so I think the access to childcare, and I don't even think that's specific to Knoxville. I think that's just our entire country is grappling with that. But I think that's really one of the biggest things that we have to get taken care of sooner rather than later.
Yeah, when I was teaching, I have a number of friends I could name that were like, we don't know if we should keep teaching.
Yeah.
If we keep teaching, we're literally just paying for childcare.
Exactly. So I could just spend time at home with my kid.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's literally the same difference. Now, obviously, if they needed health care because for whatever reason, like they didn't have a choice, right? Yeah. So that's. Yeah. And I don't know what the solution is.
I don't either. I think I read a statistic the other day I read a statistic the other day that said that in the state of Tennessee, couples are paying 60 to 70% of their monthly income towards housing and childcare. So you have roughly 30% of your income for transportation, for
country burrito
needs, for country burrito tacos, for
everything else, which is
nothing. Yeah, so it's really a crisis, and I think we talk about these things, and it's like, oh, like bummer, but we have to find ways to combat this, and we have to find ways to put some sort of action in place. Like I said, I don't know what that is necessarily, but I think starting with education and really getting the information out to the community is the first place to start.
Right. Well, and I think too, there's almost this acceptance of like, this is how this is.
Yes.
But also, if you're in the midst of like raising kids and you have a full-time job, like you don't have time to be like,
right,
what's a better way?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because your head is down, so it's like,
yes,
we just miss that whole.
You're exactly right.
The people in it, we don't really hear their voices because.
Yeah,
you know, they're just trying to.
They're worried about other things. Right. They're trying to just make it, like get through every day. Yeah,
yeah. So I think that's like, how do we give those people a voice? Because I think like sometimes, you know, in like my background and kind of nonprofit or whatever is like almost victimizing the victims in a way. And so it's like, I think it's similar in this kind of situation is like, how do you hear those voices without it being an additional thing or an additional add-on to whatever. So
exactly.
Anyways, just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so tell us, on your website, you say like Women's Fund of East Tennessee, the vision is every woman self-sustaining.
Yes.
So what is the picture of that?
Yeah, I think that's a picture of a woman who can properly provide for herself and what is to be, you know, if she chooses to have a family in the future. Yeah. There's a demographic right now called the Alice demographic that a lot of United Way here in Knoxville has done a lot of work with, as well as the surrounding counties. And ALICE stands for Access Limited Income Constrained Employed. So it's women who...
Access Limited Income Constrained Employed.
Yes. So people who are working, most of the time they have 40-hour-a-week full-time jobs, but they're still not able to provide basic necessities for themselves and their family. So they're not at that poverty line, they're above it, but they're still not able to make ends meet. And like I said, United Way has done a tremendous job of putting together all of this information. I think actually like on their website, you can find an entire ALICE report. But a lot of people who are in that category are women. And a lot of the jobs that are in that category are oftentimes jobs taken by women. So for us as an organization, being self-sustainable just means being at a place financially, mentally, physically, where you're able to support yourself and your family.
Yeah. You can live your life.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we want. We want women to be able to live their lives and make the best choice for themselves and their families. And have it be an informed decision.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Okay, so are there any other like stats that you're like, people should know this about what's happening with women in the area? Is there anything that you're just like, people should know this? Like, this is, you know what I mean?
I love that. I think the biggest thing I want to point out is the work that nonprofits are doing. So like you said, we're kind of the gateway between the boots on the ground organizations and the donors. So we want to provide our donors with the assurance that their money is going to worthwhile programs. And we want to be making strides for the entire region. So that's kind of how we factor into it. But these nonprofits are doing just incredible work. You know, we have partners like Girls Inc., A Step Ahead of East Tennessee, Boys and Girls Clubs across the region, Restoration House, Centro Hispano, Ola Lake Way, and I know I've probably missed a couple on there, I'm sorry, but East Tennessee Artscapes, they're a new one that we're funding this year, and then Project Grad. So these organizations are really working to make a difference not only in the lives of young people, but in the lives of women and girls across East Tennessee. We're lucky that a lot of these organizations serve a younger population because we want to start those conversations and that education at an earlier age. But the Restoration House is one that serves, a lot of mothers looking to go back and pursue education. So it's just a really great opportunity for us to see what these nonprofits are doing, but also having them work together so that our entire region is moving forward.
Yeah. So what have I not asked you about like Women's Fund of East Tennessee that you're like, you should have asked me that? Or people, another kind of similar question, but
I think
what are we missing?
Yeah, well, I think really just if you have a heart and a passion for supporting women and empowering women, please reach out to us and see how you can get involved. You know, we have volunteers, we have committees that you can sit on. We are always accepting donations. You can donate on our website, obviously. But yeah, just we want to really open up our message and a message of empowerment for women, and we need advocates to do that. So if anyone has a deep passion for women's issues and supporting women, we'd love to talk to you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna shift into a little East Tennessee talk.
Okay,
so
I love East Tennessee. I've lived all over it. Yeah.
Okay, so how does Knoxville compare to like Athens? And wait, where did you say you grew up?
So I grew up in Cleveland.
Okay, in Cleveland, yeah. So how does Knoxville compare to Cleveland?
Yeah, well, I'll say I have not been back to Cleveland in a very long time. So my family all lives in Knoxville and Kingsport now. So I rarely go back to Cleveland. So my answers will all be based on information about 15 years ago.
It's still small.
So but it's still very small. So I will say the movie theater in Cleveland is top tier. I worked there my senior year in high school. I love that place. It has a special place in my heart, obviously, but it's a great place. But Knoxville, I think it's a better fit for me because there's much more of an arts atmosphere. Like I love the arts. I love, I'm a Broadway subscriber to the Tennessee Theater. Like I love.
You are? That's cool.
Oh, I love it. And I love all the different events they put on. They do the summer movie series. They do, they'll have music events. There's just always something to do in Knoxville. And I think that's what I love. Like even before you came in, I was looking at the event calendar and I was like, okay, I got to go to this and got to go to this. And it's just so much fun to be out in the community because I think in a lot of ways Knoxville is a bigger town, but it's still a small city and you're always going to see someone you're always going to find someone friendly. And it's a part of my job, like networking, being in nonprofits, but it's also just fun to be a part of this community and I love all the things that go on.
So if someone was like thinking about moving to Knoxville, like what advice would you give them in their consideration? Like what are things they should be aware of?
Yeah, I would start with just like a small trip. Like I would come to Knoxville.
Yes, listen to what she's saying.
Like I would come to Knoxville for a small trip. I would stay downtown. There's great hotels. I would just venture like around the city because I think I was a part of something and they talked about how the downtown, like I'm gonna completely butcher this, but downtown is like this cool like metropolitan like neat city, and then you've also got like the Smoky Mountains like right down the road. So like if you want to go see a Broadway show at the Tennessee Theater and then the next morning go on like a really cool hike, you can do that and you're not going to be driving like 2 hours out of your way.
Right.
Like it's all literally right here. There's Imes, there's water, there's the river, there's all these different things that literally like I think it just fits everyone.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I think anyone can come to Knoxville and find something that they're interested in.
Yeah, I agree.
We've got baseball, like it's moving closer to the city. There's minor league sports. We have the Knoxville Ice Bears, like food. There's just so many cool things.
I agree. I feel like our food scene is like on the up and up.
It really is. It really is. And even like downtown, just like you don't even have to go anywhere. Like just literally Market Square, Gay Street.
Yes.
There's stuff everywhere.
Yeah, I was talking with someone who was like, Market Square, and I was like, you don't understand. Like, growing up, when I grew up here, it was like you did not go down there.
Like,
so it's awesome to see it now because it's like, let's go.
Yeah, I did Introduction Knoxville, and that's another thing. If you, when you move to Knoxville, do Introduction Knoxville. It's a great program. I sat on the committee for a long time. And that's what we would hear all the time. It's like, I don't even know what year, but not even that long ago.
Yeah,
like,
no, not that long
things
ago.
shut down at like 5 p.m. because everyone left their offices and went home. Like, no one stayed around downtown. And now there's just so much to do.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's so
really
cool.
great.
Yeah. Do you think, people make fun of me because I think the traffic is bad, specifically Cedar Bluff, which is like where we are. Because people don't know which lane to be in, and it drives me to road rage.
They don't. The traffic is bad. So people, and I can say this because I'm from Tennessee, but people say Tennessee's like the worst drivers. Like that's what I hear from people. Like my boyfriend's originally from Washington, D.C., so like talk about traffic, and like he says
and he said it's worse here.
He
like
said not traffic necessarily, but the way people drive. Yeah, he says Tennessee is like the worst. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But I do think that's part of it. I think people don't know, and I'm gonna, like, I always try to put like a positive spin on something, but I think part of it is the expansion. Like people got so used to going like on Kingston, like they would take Kingston Pike for everything, and so people got so used to like being the only person taking Kingston Pike as opposed to the interstate.
Right.
And then everybody figured it out. And then like when I moved here, Middlebrook Pike, like I was like, I'll just take Middlebrook for everything. And it was a straight shot. And now it's like everyone else has figured it out, And so I think people are trying to like navigate it in the sense that it's caused so much much congestion.
Right.
And people don't know where to go.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, and like my mom did like home health, like physical therapy all over East Tennessee.
God.
So I grew up on like all these like back roads, like
yeah.
And my husband's like, "Where are you going?"
Yeah.
I'm like, just trust me.
We'll figure it out.
It's fine.
Yeah,
like, we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
We're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
But then my clients from California are like, the traffic is not bad here. I'm like,
and you're like, okay.
Well, okay. To me,
but come
I'm
on.
like,
Yeah.
okay.
Great.
You must, you're gonna love it here then.
You're gonna be perfectly fine.
Yes.
Yeah. Just figure out which lane to use.
Okay. We talked a little bit about food, but I know you have mentioned like you're a dessert person.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Knoxville desserts.
Yes.
What you got?
Knoxville desserts. Okay. I got to put a plug in for JC Holdway again one more time. But I have other ones too.
Okay.
So I love blue cheese.
Oh.
JC Holdway has a blue cheese cheesecake.
Oh.
I don't know if they have it all the time because they do a lot of variations with their menu. And I know that sounds so weird. It is so good.
Really?
Like, it's heavenly. And I mean, and I don't think it tastes like blue cheese, like, but it's
got like a,
it's creamy, but it's not like as strong as like a blue cheese flavor. But I told you I don't like cheesecake that much.
Yeah, no, it's not
and
like
so it's not as, it doesn't have that typical like cheesecake flavor.
Yeah.
That I'm not a super big fan of.
Yeah.
But it's still creamy. It's not like as tart or like strong as like a blue cheese would be. And I know it sounds weird, but I also try anything. Like I will literally, as long as it's not like moving, like I'll eat it, like whatever it is.
You're like, I'll try it.
Yeah.
Once.
The Cruise Farm, obviously.
Yeah, Cruise Farm,
ice cream.
Now you get like their ice cream, or do you do like their not? It's not a Blizzard. But
it depends, but yes, they have like their version of
the
a
churn,
Blizzard. Yeah, a churn. I think something like that.
I don't know. I get.
But they have so many
Blizzard.
different flavors, and like the peanut butter one, like they have a peanut butter one. I think that's really good. Yeah, they that one's pretty good. And then also ham and goodies cookies.
Oh,
like you can't beat a ham and goodies cookie.
I know, you're right. Those lemon cookies.
Those lemon cookies are so good.
Have you had Myrtle's Bakehouse?
No, I haven't.
Kirby.
Oh, but also Wild Love.
Okay, I have not
bakery.
ever had anything from there. I've been there and I've gotten there too late in the day.
You have to go. Okay, you have to go super early. The tattoo shop that I go to most of the time is very close to there. And they do these really fun like pop-up events where you can go and like people line up at the tattoo shop at like 6 a.m. Like my boyfriend and I went a couple weeks ago and we got there at 6. And so once Wild Love opened up, like we walked down there because it's just like a straight shot. Yeah. It opened, I think, at 8. We walked down there at 8:20. There was a line out the door. Like it was madness. But they have, I'm trying to think what I got. I think I got like a chocolate croissant last time I was
going to
there.
say, I think people have heard about their chocolate croissants.
But also they have a really good coffee cake too.
Oh, I love a good coffee cake.
Yeah.
Don't ask me to make it, but I'll eat it. Yeah.
See, I love to bake. I'll make you a coffee cake.
Yeah, okay, yes, you do love to bake.
Baking.
Oh my god.
That would be my dream. Like, I think,
really?
like, I told my boyfriend one day, I was like, if something happens and, like, we win the lottery or something, like, and
I'll be in the kitchen
like,
baking.
I want to go work at a bakery.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
It'd probably be so stressful, but
I don't know. I interviewed Alex Good of Goody Two Shoes.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, okay, so her whole schedule is insane. She has like a small child and she's about to have another small child, but she's like, she works from like 9 p.m. until like 1 a.m. baking, and she's like, I just love it. Oh, I don't care.
I couldn't do that.
Now that is like love.
Yeah, that's a passion right there. That's a
I was
passion
like, no, she's
project.
like, I just love it. I'm in the kitchen. Baking my
really
cookies.
love that.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
Are you kidding?
No.
I
need it to be like a Sunday afternoon where I have nothing else.
No, I'll be baking and I'll be like, wait, did I put the cinnamon in
there?
How much did I put?
That's funny.
Did I do that?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not.
You gotta be very precise.
Well, you know what's funny is, and we'll wrap this up, but okay, Shay does not bake. He can cook. My husband, he can cook.
Yeah.
The man cannot bake.
Sure.
Like, I know what to do. Right?
Yeah.
I
just have a basic understanding.
I just dislike the mess. That's my thing.
I feel that.
So anyways, he will, okay, so cookies, for example, you don't like take them out and assess and put them back in. Like, you
Yes,
let
right.
them do
Yeah.
their thing, you take them out, and if they're
Right.
out, you took them out. Like,
Yeah.
we're not putting them back in the oven
Yeah.
for another 5 minutes.
Yes.
Off and on.
Yeah.
In and out. I'm like, what the
Like,
hell?
you have a time and you
you just trust it.
Yeah. Trust it. Put a little faith in there.
He'll be like, whoa, these don't look. I'm like, they're sitting on the pan. They're gonna finish.
Yeah, it's
up.
okay. They're gonna
Yeah,
continue
it's
to bake
fine.
a little bit.
He's
yeah.
like, whoa, and he'll take them out just straight out of the oven. I'm like, no, don't
And then you're
do
like
that.
opening the oven and all of
Yes,
a sudden
it's-
it's letting the heat out.
yeah,
and
it's not
good for
appropriate.
It. Yeah, he needs to stop. Tell him to stop.
Yeah,
Tell him
he's
to
not allowed to
quit.
bake anymore.
Yeah.
Anyways, whatever. I'll leave that to myself.
Exactly.
Anyways,
You'll learn
okay.
baking.
If people want to get in touch with you or Women's Fund of East Tennessee,
Yeah.
where should they go? What should they do?
Yeah, our website, womensfundetn.org. That's going to have all of our information. It'll have my email. It'll have our office phone number. It'll also have a way to sign up for our newsletter. So we do not a lot of newsletters, but we do like a quarterly letter from the executive director, that sort of thing. And anytime we have a special event, we have actually a fundraiser that's in the very early stages of planning coming up on Tuesday, October 1st.
Oh.
That's just going to be a fun, like, wine dinner, kind of like
Ooh.
really cool experience. Yeah, with By the Tracks Catering is
Oh,
who we're
cool,
partnering
yeah.
with. Yeah, so we're really excited for that. And then we have an annual luncheon every year in April.
Cool.
So that'll be April of next year. And that's a good way to find out more about the organization, just coming to that, but also just our website and reaching out.
Awesome.
We're also on social media, Facebook,
Yeah.
Instagram. Yeah.
Anyways, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
It's been awesome to
All
talk
right.
to you.
See ya.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.